Yogah Karmasu Kaushalam.
So let me share with you my screen so we can start the presentation. So I think my slides are visible.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So, okay. So thank you very much, ma'am, for inviting me for this session. And topic is very important because at present, research papers, research publications are mandatory for the college as well as the university people. So my topic for presentation, it is a simple called crafting effective research papers in commerce and management. Actually, I am a person of engineering background, but this task is given to me, so I have searched something for you regarding with the commerce and management, and within a 1.5 hour session, I will try my level best to explain about research papers as well as very important point called H index, as well as suppose if you have a papers, so how can you understand about the journals, means from the abstract and title how to find out a good journal. So everything we are going to cover in this 1.5 hour session. So these are the contents of my presentation called proposed outcome course. Here we are 1.5 hours. So what are the proposed outcomes for this lecture? Then next point is very important, why the research paper is important. Then what are the different means the structures of the research paper. Then about the cover letter, because the cover letter is also very important point. Then about the highlights. Then suppose if you want to publish an article, so at that time what are the different parameters are there for submission of paper. Then suppose if you are a beginners in this journey, so which journals we are going to prefer. Okay, so that's why I have put one simple title called journal list for beginners. Then what are the different points are there for initial rejection of paper. Because this point is also very important, because I have found many of my friends, whenever they will submit an article in the journal, so at the same time, means within a 1.5 or 2 hours they receive a rejection email. So what are the points are there due to which the papers are rejected, and then what are the different indexing of the journal, because as a researcher you must know what we mean by indexing and what are different types of indexings are there. So that we are going to study. And last, that how to find out the particular journal that is based on the abstract and keywords. So these are the contents of my presentation. So first of all, we must understand what are the proposed outcome. So if the participants will attend the lecture, so the participant will be able to understand first that how to write a cover letter for the journal submission of paper. Because actually whenever you will submit an article, so at that time cover letter is mandatory, but actually we are not submitting the cover letter. So what is cover letter, how to write a cover letter, what are the benefits of cover letter, so everything we are going to study. That's why the first outcome, that is the participant will be able to understand how to write a cover letter. Then second thing called highlights. Suppose if you will read the article from elsewhere and other very high impact factor journals, so at that time they always say about the highlights. So what do you mean by highlights, how to write the highlights, so that point is also going to cover in this session. And then understand the various components of the research article, because whenever you will write down the research article, so what are the different components are there, so that component you must aware. Okay, and then you must also understand about the various indexing, because Scopus you know, then Web of Science you know, but how to know that that particular journal which you are going to target for the research publication, so the journal is really falls in the category of Scopus or not, or Web of Science is not. So everything that we are going, and last, that how to search appropriate journal, because actually as a researcher we don't know that suppose I have a very good article, but actually I don't know what is the appropriate journal for the particular article. Okay, so So after the end of this session, you will easily understand all 6 points, five points. That's why I have added the word called the proposed outcomes. Now, friend, I think you might know about the scopus. That what is scopus? So I think if you will read this, you can easily understand. But actually, for the simple understanding, I can say scopus is called an indexing. Okay, so that indexing that covers the multiple criteria like engineering, science, physical science, social science, etc., are covered. And compared with the Web of Science called WOS, the Scopus has a highest number of research content. And at last, we are also going to understand about the Scopus. And then, very important point at present that you must aware, that's a QN. Because suppose if you will publish an article, okay, so if the article has a very good impact factor like about 2.5 3, so it's okay. But that journal has also Q ranking. Q ranking means what? Here you can see, you can read easily that quarantile rank, that is based from the highest to the lowest. Suppose if there are 100 journals, 100 journals. So among the 100 journals, the top 25% or top 25 journals, if your paper will be published in these top 25 journals, okay, so that's called a Q1 ranking journal. And in the foreign countries, the people always require article publication in Q1 ranking journal. Q1 means what? That top impactful 25% journal of the paper. So as an example, suppose in management there are 100 journals. So among the 100 journals, top 25% journal, if your paper will be accepted in such journal, so that article will be accepted in Q1 ranking journal. And Q1 ranking has a highest, we can say, the criteria. Second one, that's a Q2 ranking, means 25% to 50%. Okay, less impact for 25%, means 25% to 50%, that's called Q2 ranking. Q3 ranking means 50% to the 50% to the 75%. And fourth, for Q4 ranking, or Q4, that is called a 75% to lowest, means 100%. That's called a Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. But as a researcher, if you are starting your career as a researcher or as a research scholar, so at that time you must aware very well that you must aware that your article may be in Q3 or Q4, it's okay, but never try for Q1 and Q2, because Q1 and Q2 require a very good article and very good, we can say, the quality of the article. So what I'm suggesting you that, suppose if you are a researcher, so you can go for the Q3 and Q4 ranking journal also. Then WOS, that's for Web of Science. Okay, so dear friend, at present the people are telling about the impact factor. What is impact factor? And one more thing, that there are many journals are also available in the market. So if you will see the journal, so they always say that my journal has a impact factor more than 5, more than 6, but generally the impact factor is given by Clarivate Analytics. Earlier it was a Thomson Reuters, but Thomson Reuters, that company is purchased by the this Web of Science of Clarivate Analytics, and at present Clarivate Analytics is only given the impact factor. And if you want to know the journals which are indexing in WOS, that at last I have very good slides for you, so you can easily understand that particular journal is indexing in the Web of Science or not, or Scopus or not. And for the management as well as other called commerce side, in WOS there is one more indexing, that's called SSCI, that is called social scientific index. And there are many journals which are also added in SSCI. Now, friend, this is my Google Scholar citation. So, at present, around 9,000 plus Google Scholar citations are there, starting from 2016 to 2023. And at present, the H index, that is 57. I think, friend, you must aware very well what is H index. H index means what? Suppose if you have published 100 or 150 articles, so among the 100 or 100,
Sir,
150.
sorry to interrupt. આપ તમારી slide છે ને એ move નથી થતી. We are on the first slide on the screen.
Now,
Yes,
now,
now it is moving. Yeah, thank
okay.
you.
Now, ma'am, okay, ma'am?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, okay. So suppose means H index is 57 means there are 57 or more than 57 number of articles that have been cited 57 or more than 57 times. That's why the H index is around 57. And then regarding with the I-10 index means there are 189 papers that has been cited 10 or more than 10 times. That is why the I-10 index is around 189. Now, friend, now I think you must aware that we all are gathered here for the crafting the research article or research paper. So first of all, it's our duty that why the research paper is important. So if you will search on the Google regarding with the why the research paper is important, you will find out so many kind of information. Okay, but I have taken very small information for you. So here you can see that the crafting the effective research paper, that's a fundamental process that drives the innovation, informs the decision making, and contributes to the advancement of the knowledge in this field. And generally, for crafting of research paper, it is important for the commerce and management because there are many reasons in which the first reason that is academic advancement. Means suppose if you are working in the management side, so at present it's our duty to understand or to know that what the people are working in entire the world. So if you will understand the knowledge of such people, so that is why you must aware about the research paper, and due to the help of the research paper, it may be possible that the academic advancement is possible. Then the student learning, because at present there are many websites are already available. Okay, so the what the student will do, student will visit the website, they will listen the lectures and they will understand. But actually, what is the learning? Means the student learning. So if you have very good research papers or very good research articles, so such articles or such papers will also help the student learning. Then third point is the decision making. Means suppose if you have very good articles or research article, so as a researcher means you will understand very well about the decision making criteria. Then fourth one, quality assurance. Okay, means if you are working on some topic, so if you have a very good knowledge of research paper or research article, so that may be possible that you can also assure the quality of the your work, or you can also compare the quality of your work with the other researchers' quality. And last and but not least, that's a global perspective, because what the people are doing in the global world. So through the research paper, you will also understand that what the people are doing or what the people are doing the research work on which topic, which topic is at present on very good demand. So everything you will understand from the research paper. Now, if you want to write a research paper, so first of all, you must aware very well about the components of the research paper, because actually as a researcher, if you want to write down a research article, research paper, so at that time you must aware so what are the basic components. So actually if you are working in engineering background or science background or commerce background, means the generally the components of research are same. It's starting from cover letter to the appendix. I think what is cover letter that we will study. So these are the components of the research paper, like a cover letter, then highlights of the paper, then title of the paper, abstract, then keywords, then introduction, and data collection and data analysis, result and discussion, acknowledgement if you have, and references, and then appendices. Okay, now we will study one by one the components of paper, and suppose if you have any doubts, so at the end of the session you are most welcome to ask me question. So first one, that is a cover letter. So what is the meaning
Excuse me,
of
sir.
cover letter? So I,
Sir, the slides are not changing, sir.
1 minute. Now your slide is okay.
Yes, yes. Now we can see the cover letter slide.
Okay, ma'am. So regarding with the cover letter, I think many of you know about the cover letter, and many don't understand what is cover letter. So dear friend, if you are doing a research work, or if you are writing a research paper, so as a researcher's perspective, it's my duty to inform you all that you must add a cover letter. You must add the cover letter. Why the cover letter is important, and what are the different points that you have to add in cover letters, that we are going to understand. So actually, if you will see the cover letter, if you write on the Google, so you will find out many things regarding with the cover letter. But actually, what is cover letter? The cover letter for a journal submission is a formal letter that accompanies a research manuscript when you submit in a scholarly or a scientific journal for publication, and the journal of the cover letter is introduce your manuscript to the journal editors and provide the important information about the submission. So if you will read this, so I think you understand very clearly what is the cover letter. Now, if you will search on Google about the cover letter, you will find out the many contents about the cover letter. But I have written many research articles, so I have found my own style to write a cover letter. That is why, from my perspective, I always add the cover letter in 4 paragraphs, and I will also share with you cover letter. But here you can see that 4 paragraphs. That's the first paragraph shows the title of the research paper. Then second paragraph that shows the usefulness of and novelty of the research paper. Third one, that paragraph that shows the conflict of interest between the authors, if the authors have. And fourth and most important, that's sometimes some journals require the suggested reviewer list, and some journals are not require the suggested reviewer list. So that is why I always add suggested reviewers from my end. So this point, if you will write down in cover letter, definitely you will understand, or definitely the editor-in-chief will understand about the cover letter. So I will share with you the cover letter format. So I think the cover letter is visible to everybody. Is it visible? Hello?
No, sir.
Not visible?
No, sir.
Hello? Visible or not
No, no,
visible?
No,
not
sir.
visible.
No, sir.
Not visible. 1 minute.
No, sir.
Now it is visible. Here it is
No,
written.
sir. Blank file.
Sir, it is
No, sir.
darker. I think you should stop share and share again. I think that would solve the
Okay,
purpose.
okay, okay. Don't worry. I will stop sharing and again sharing. Now I think, is it visible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
yes.
So, friend, this is a sample cover letter which generally I am preferred before submission of the paper. So, first of all, you are requested to add the date because it is very important. Then it is always towards the editor-in-chief. I think you must aware very well that whenever you will submit an article to any journal, so the journal has a one head, that's for the editor-in-chief. So every time the cover letter is addressed towards the editor-in-chief, and then you have to add the journal name here. Here I am writing one article to the International Journal of Production Economics, and it is an elsewhere journal. Then respected editor-in-chief. Now first paragraph, that already I have told you that first paragraph always shows the title of the paper. So everything I have written here. Then the second paragraph, that always shows the novelty. So friend, first of all, as a researcher, you must know what is novelty. Novelty means what? Means the work which you are doing, it is somewhat different with the other researchers' work. That simply called the novelty. Okay, so and actually as a researcher, in your article there must be at least 2 points or two novel points, and that novel points you have to show it here, because whenever you will submit the cover letter to the particular journal, so editor-in-chief will first see the cover letter, and from cover letter they will easily understand very well that what is the novelty of the article. Okay, and after visualizing the novelty of the article, he or she can understand that whether I should send the paper for review or reject. So if you want the paper is under review, so at that time you must prepare a cover letter very well. So definitely if your cover letter will be prepared well, so definitely your article will be under review. And then I have told you that the conflict of interest that you have to add. So that is why I have added that currently we have no conflict of interest. And fourth paragraph, that's for suggested review. Okay, so this table that shows the suggested reviewer, and as a researcher I am requesting you to add at least 3 suggested reviewers. And please understand very well, whenever you will add the suggested reviewer list, so the list of reviewers are not from your suppose if you are from India, so no one reviewer from the India, as well as no one in the field of your idea. That means the nobody has completed any research work with you. So it is called a suggested reviewers. And one more thing, that whenever you will prepare a suggested reviewer, at that time there must be a different points for serial number, the name of the reviewers with affiliation, is research area and reason. Why research area is important? Because suppose if my research work is related with the research area of supply chain management, so I have to find out the reviewers based on supply chain management only. And then reason is very important, because the editor-in-chief will always see the reason why you have chosen this particular person to review your manuscript. And whenever you will write down the reason, at that time kindly add such kind of sentences that the he or she means the reviewer must complete a PhD or PDF, and he or she must having more than 50 plus research articles in Scopus as well Web of Science journal, and having a very good citations. Okay, so if you will add very simple kind of thing in your cover letter, okay, so if you will write down here 10,000 citation, so what means your editor-in-chief will do, he will search the particular person on the Google Scholar, and suppose that that person having more than 10,000 articles and they have published more than 100 articles in a reputed publication, so definitely your paper will be sent to that particular person, because that person have a very good capability to review your article. But that is why, dear friend, you are requested to add the suggested reviewer list, and the reviewers must be in the same area of you, as well as they are not from the same country, or and they have not published any single research article with you. So those people are called the suggested reviewers. So if you will read, or if you will write the cover letter like this way, so definitely definitely the editor-in-chief will understand that the particular person or particular researcher is having a good research work. They have a very good knowledge. They also know the people who are working in the same research area. So definitely the article will be submitted to the particular journal, means particular researcher, and your article will be under review. So that is why you all are requested to kindly understand the point that's for cover letter, and whenever you will submit a research article, to kindly prepare a cover letter. So at the end of this session, I will also share the cover letter to you. So if you want to write an article, so at that time you can also prepare a similar cover letters. So now further we will move to our slide. Now I think my slide is visible. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I think cover letter is over. Already I have told you the how to prepare the cover letter, what is the usefulness of the cover letter. Okay. Now next one, that's called the highlights. So what is the meaning of highlights? Because friend, if you will see the very good articles from the elsewhere, so elsewhere journals always require the highlights. Okay, so whenever you will write down the highlights, so at that time which points that you should cover. So generally the highlights are a short collection of bullet points that convey the core findings and provide readers with a quick textual overview of the article, and the highlights not more than 85 characters including space, and the highlights will be 3 to 4 bullet points, and that always describe of the research and highlights what is the distinctive about it. So this is the something regarding with the highlights. So from these slides you understand very clearly that highlights must not contain not more than 85 characters. So suppose for the highlights I have taken very simple points as a highlight for a analysis of a product quality levels using differential trajectory. A mathematical form of difference in streamer type is given, then quality decision interval in which the ordinary streamer outperforms the top streamer, and the manufacturer profit efficiency is an important factor in the trajectory live streaming product quality. Means if you will write down the highlights, so it must be 85 characters, and there may be a minimum three bullet points that contains 85 characters, and maximum 5 bullet points. Now after highlights, important point, that's for a title. Okay, because actually dear friend, sometimes whenever we will submit article, so after title only, if the editor-in-chief will see the title, so definitely the title is not impressive. So from title itself the editor-in-chief is rejecting the paper. So that is why the title is also considered as one of the most important parameter for the paper publication. So that is why here I have written very simple language. The title, it is the first impression of the author while submitting paper in the journal. Okay, because actually what the researchers are doing, they have not very good idea about the title. So what they are doing, they are writing title in the haphazard way. Okay, so whenever they will write that in haphazard way, so whenever the editor-in-chief will see the title, so from title itself they will reject your paper. That's why the first impression, that is always create by the title. So whenever you will write down the title, so at that time your title that must contain the limited 8 to 20 words only, not more than 20 words. So as per the rule of the Elsewhere and Taylor Francis, that your title must contain words from 8 to 20, and the title that must be relevant to the subject only. Title must be relevant to the subject only. Now in title, there must be a single phrase, because what the people are doing, they write the title in multiple phrases, not a single phrase. Okay, so whenever you will write down title in a multiple phrase, so definitely what will happen, your title will not create a very good impression. Okay, so that is why your title must be in the single phrase. Then your title must contain a correct grammar and capitalization, because if grammar is not proper and proper capital words are not there, so the title will not create a good impression. And last but not least, that avoid the abbreviation if possible, because generally what happen, suppose in a management, even I am also working on SCM or supply chain management, because I know what is SCM or supply chain management means. The layman who is first time reading the article, so he or she doesn't know what is SCM. So that is why I'm requesting to everybody, whenever you will write down the title, so at that time the title does not contain any kind of abbreviation. Okay, in abstract you can add the abbreviation, it's okay, but in title, if possible, kindly avoid the abbreviation. So I think you understood very clearly that whenever you will write down the title, so at that time the title must contain 8 to 20 words. Then the title must be relevant to the subject only. The title is writing in the single phrase only, not a multiple phrase. Then the title must contain the correct grammar and capital words. And last but not least, means avoid the abbreviation if possible. Now, for your understanding, I have added some examples of the title, like e-commerce logistic in supply chain management, practice perspective.
Sir, sorry to interrupt again, but the slides are not changing, sir.
I mean, now changes the slide. Here, ma'am, slides are changing, ma'am. It's visible. Example slides.
No, sir. What file is visible?
सर आपका जो लेटर था ना वो खुला हुआ है, तो आप उसको क्लोज करके वापस से शायद वो प्रेजेंट करना पड़ेगा.
अच्छा, ओके, कोई बात नहीं.
एंड दूसरा ये है ना, मे बी बिकॉज ऑफ दैट फुल स्क्रीन हम करते हैं ना तो मूव नहीं होता है कभी कभी. तो स्लाइड शो आप मत करना, तो ऑटोमेटिक मूव हो जाएगा.
સ્લાઇડ से मत. अच्छा,
સ્લાઇડ શો
Okay.
કરી છે ને આપણે, એના લીધે કદાચ મૂવ નહીં થતું હોય.
कोई बात नहीं.
नो प्रॉब्लम.
Okay. Now I think slide is visible.
यस.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Now
So,
it's moving also.
okay. So these are some examples of the title. Means 8 to 20 words already. So first important for me, simple examples I'm showing you, that e-commerce logistic in supply chain management, practice and perspective. Means this whole title, it's 8 words, it's okay. Then the role of blockchain technology in sustainability of supply chain management, gray based demetal implementation, the whole word for 60 words. Means it's a single phrase word. Okay, then the role of the green supply chain management practices on environmental performances, a case of the Indonesian small and medium enterprises, 14 words. Then dealing with the donations, supply chain management challenges for food banks. Means whenever you will write down title, so you can prepare title accordingly, but you must aware very well the title must not contain abbreviation, as well as it must be 8 to 20 words. Okay, so if you will understand such kind of things, so definitely from the title itself, the editor-in-chief will understand the work which you are doing. Now, ma'am, I think ma'am, hashtag is visible.
Yes, sir.
yes sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So now means first of all you have to prepare one cover letter. After cover letter you must prepare the highlights. After highlights, the title, and after title, next point called abstract. So regarding with the abstract, because why I am saying the abstract is important, because I am also the editor-in-chief in 2 or 3 SCI and Scopus indexing journals. So generally I have to handle at least 10 to 15 papers per day. So I don't have much time. So I always read the abstract only. From abstract itself, you can understand that what works that the particular person has done and whether the work is good or bad. Okay, so that is why as a researcher you must prepare abstract very well. And after this slide, I will share with you some examples. So what is abstract? So generally abstract, that's a is called the briefly summarize, and the abstract generally contains the 150 words to 500 words, and this abstract must contain some points like a current state of art, then problem definition, then aim, methods, results, and conclusion. Okay, so the abstract, we can say that it must contain some parameters like a current state of art, problem definition, aim, methods, results, and conclusion. So if you will write abstract in such manner, so definitely the abstract will contain some useful information for you. And please understand very well, the abstract must not contain any reference, because I have seen some papers that has been published in not a very good journal, means such articles have added references in abstract also, but generally abstract does not contain any references. And next important point, that abstract does not contain the tables, figures, and charts. Okay, for tables, figures, and charts, we have one very separate point. So you are requested not to add references and tables and figures and charts. And generally, these all are my words, that if the abstract is not written properly, so what will happen? The editor-in-chief will reject the paper in initial evaluation or paper before send it to the review, because from the abstract itself that you can understand very clearly that it must contain the current state of art, problem definition, objectives, then method, then result and discussion, but in small quantity. So definitely if you will add properly abstract, so definitely your article will be under review, otherwise it will be rejected. That many authors, generally not many, means myself also, that write the abstract at last. So that is why it accurately reflects the content of the paper. Means that generally as a researchers, means I don't know whether you have written the abstract during beginning or during at last, but generally whenever if you will write down the research paper, so you are requested to write down your research paper starting from the result and discussion, and your abstract must be written at last. But generally what the people are doing, they first write down the abstract. Okay, but it's a very good manner or very good habit as a good researcher that write down the abstract at last. So definitely it will reflect accurately the content of the paper, and it must contain, already I told you, state of art, definition, methods, etc., etc. Now for your information, I have added one simple example of the abstract from one of the article. Now here friend, if you can see, different colors are there. Okay, starting from developing circular economy to absent, you can see. So if you will write down or if you will read it properly, so the everything that is for the current state of art, for a circular economy, because the article is related with the circular economy. So around 4 to 5 sentences you have added for the current state of art, and then you can see a next because the color is changing. Okay, so up to simultaneously to the supply chain management. Okay, so here the color is changing, so it is called the problem definition. It's called the problem definition. And then you can see 486 Chinese listed industrial firms, that's called the materials and methods or methods used in your research article. And last you can the findings, that's called the result and discussion and conclusion. So if you will read this particular abstract, so this abstract contains current state of art, these 4 to 5 lines, then 4 to 5 lines for the problem definition, then 1 or 2 lines for the objective, then materials and methods, 3 or 4 lines, and then 4 to 5 lines for the result and discussion and conclusion. So if you will write down the abstract in such manner, so your abstract is thoroughly, we can say that, written properly. And as a researcher or as an editor-in-chief, if I will read only abstract, so I can understand very well that the researcher has a very good idea of the research paper. So after reading the abstract, the editor-in-chief will be happy, and definitely your article will go for the under review stage. So that is why, as a researcher, it's my duty to inform you all that your abstract must be written in this manner. And if you will write down your abstract is written in this manner, so definitely your abstract will be written well, and the chances of under review will be there. Okay, so please understand very well, your abstract must contain the 5 parameters. First is called the current state of art, then problem definition, then objective, materials and methods, or methods that you have used, and last, conclusion and result and discussion. So if you will devise your whole abstract in this category, definitely your abstract will be written well. And I am requesting you to write down abstract at the end of the paper. Means generally abstract is written always at first, but as a researcher you are requested to kindly write down result and discussion first and abstract at last. Then and then your abstract will be written well. But generally some researchers are always prefer to write down the abstract. Means it's a their own habit, but generally as a habit of good researchers, your abstract must be written at last. Then after abstract you always see the keywords. Okay, so what is the meaning of the keywords? So actually the frequent words which are used in the research article, that is called the keywords. And for the keywords here I have written very simple meaning called keywords in a research paper are specific words or phrases that are selected to represent the main things, topics, subject discussing in the paper. And generally, dear friend, from the keywords also your paper is referred as a good paper or not a good paper. And generally you are requested to write down the proper keywords. Like suppose if you are working on the digital economy, or we can say that digital management, so at that time you are requested to add the keywords in such a way that, means suppose if you will search on Google through these keywords, your paper will be cited, or your paper will be shown. That is why, dear friend, the keywords are important. Okay, and after abstract you have to write down the words called keywords. Now after keywords you have to start your initial paper writing, that's called an introduction. Okay, so what is the introduction and how to write the introduction? So generally, friend, from introduction point of view, that if you will see the research articles, that writing of introduction is depends on person to person. Okay, but generally if you will see the good research papers that having very good impact factor, so at that time generally researchers use introduction is categorized into 3 parts. Okay, in first part, that's the current state of art, means first paragraph that shows the current state of art. Okay, in current state of art means suppose if you are writing a research paper on circular economy, so what is the current state of art on a circular economy or management criteria? Okay, so that thing you have to add in the first paragraph, and generally the first paragraph that always show the current state of art. And second paragraph, your actual literature review will be started. Your actual literature review will be started. And generally, if you will write down the research paper, so introduction contain at least 35 to 40 papers in introduction, and that must be cited in the introduction, because introduction, that's basic points. Means suppose if you are working on the circular economy or digital management. So at that time, you must aware about what the research work that has been done by the other researchers, and that researchers work you have to cite it here, and that is why your introduction must contain at least 35 to 40 citation of 40 papers, and generally the literature review that always see in the second paragraph, and one more thing that I want to share with you as a researcher's point of view, whenever you will write down the literature review, at that time your literature review must be written in ascending order. Means suppose your first article is starting from 2001 year, so last article must be from 2023. Means your research article must be starting from 2001 to 2023. So if you will write down the literature review in such kind of order, okay, so the readers as well as the reviewers understand very well that you have done a proper literature review. Because at present, if you will see the research articles written by the researchers, that they first cited a paper of 2003, second paper 2001, third paper 2002, then again 2023, then 2005. Means this kind of haphazard way that creates problem, because whenever you will conduct the literature review, so at that time, literature review must be conducted in ascending order. So the readers and reviewers understand very well. Okay. So second thing that you must understand that in literature review that must be written in the ascending order. And last, in introduction, if you will see, so last paragraph, the third paragraph, that always show about the problem definition, objectives, and methodology. So friend, whenever you will write down the introduction portion, so at that time, please understand your introduction must contain the 3 paragraphs. First paragraph that shows the current state of art. Second paragraph that shows the literature reviews, and that must be written in ascending orders. Okay. And third paragraph that shows the problem definition or outcomes of literature review, problem definition, objectives, and methodology. So this is the sequence. So if you will write down the research paper in this sequence, so it shows a very good criteria of a researcher's perspective. Okay, and it is also good to understand not by the researchers or reviewers, but it is also good for readers who are reading your articles. Okay, so that is why your introduction must contain these 3 criteria. Now after introduction, next point, that's materials and methods. That's called the materials and methods. Generally, I am a mechanic, means I am an engineering background. So engineering background always contain the materials and methods. Generally in the arts and commerce as well as the management background, because I have also worked in some journals of management, because I have also worked in circular economy as well as a digital economy and then digital management. Okay, so means in such kind of paper you will find out the method section, or we can data management. Okay, so after introduction, materials and method section, that means what to write down in materials and methods. So generally materials and methods section that provides the reader enough details of the materials and methods so they can understand and replicate your research work. And sometimes the materials and methods section that explain how you studied the problem, identify the procedures that you have followed, and order this chronological where possible. Okay, because suppose if you are working on the circular economy, so at that time you must aware that what is the main problem which you have tried, because in circular economy there are number of problems, but which problem that you have taken from your perspective, why you have chosen that particular problem, and then what particular procedures that you are following. So everything you have to add it in this materials and method section. And always in materials and method section, you must aware about the new methodology. Means you have to explain the new methodology in detail. Otherwise, what the people are doing, they use the name and method and they cite by the previous published work. Okay, like ANOVA, we all know very well that for analysis of variance. Okay, so ANOVA is frequent words. Okay, so you are not requested to add the whole procedures of ANOVA, but you can write down that ANOVA that has been explained by this author. So if you will write down that thing, so it is also okay. Okay, you are not requested to add the everything about the ANOVA methods. Okay, okay, so suppose if you have added or you have we can invented a new methodology, so it is okay to explain the new methodology. Otherwise you can explain, okay, or you can add the name and method and site of the previously published one. Okay, and next, that is include the frequency of observation and what type of data were recorded. That is also added in methods. Means suppose in materials and methods, means if you will write down, means if you have taken the observation, like I think we all know design of experiment that we have already studied. So in DOE you must aware about the frequency of observation, and then what type of data are recorded, what is dependent variables, what is independent variables. So everything you have to add it in this section called materials and method section. And whenever you will write down the material method section, so you must be precise in describing the measurements and include the errors of measurement or research design limit. Because sometimes what will happen if you will not add the research design limit, so the understanding of your materials and methods section is totally different, and the readers and researchers as well reviewers are not understand properly. So that is why after the introduction, the next point called materials method section, that must contain this kind of idea. Okay, and whenever you will write down in materials and methods section, you are requested to add the research design limit as well as the errors of management, means measurement. Okay, now in methods and material methods, the data collection, already I have told you in data collection that collection method, then sampling methods, then data gathering, data recording and management. So everything you have to add in data collection. And then after data collection, you have to analyze the data. That's called a data analysis. So whenever you will write down the data analysis in materials and methods section, so you are requested to add the data analysis techniques. Okay, which techniques already I have told you, the ANOVA. Okay, you can add, but you are not requested to add everything about ANOVA. You can add the ANOVA, and then you can cite the another researchers' work that these researchers have done, have used the ANOVA. So that kind of thing you can add. And last, that's called the data interpretation. Okay, means suppose whatever the data analysis technique you have used, whatever the answer you have achieved, so how you interpret the data, that is also very important. So that is included in data analysis part. Okay, so introduction, literature, means in introduction, then materials and methods. Okay, and then result and discussion. So dear friend, what is the meaning of result and discussion? So actually, whatever the materials and methods section, whatever the measurements that you have done, so from the measurement, whatever the results and whatever the results that you have obtained, so all the results you have to describe here in this section, and from the results you have to describe in certain 5 to 6 points. That's called a discussion. So that is why the whole point, that's called the result and discussion section. I'm repeating further, means whatever work or whatever techniques that you have used in materials and methods section for the data collection. So from the data collection, whatever result that you have obtained, so that result you have to shown here in the result and discussion section in terms of graph. and on that graph you have to interpret or you have to discuss that graph. Okay, so that's for a discussion. That is why the whole section called the result and discussion. And generally, dear friend, result and discussion is also considered as one of the most important component, because from result and discussion, if you have prepared well, so it is a plus point for you, and definitely your article will be under review and you will get the revision. Okay, but if you have not written the result and discussion well, so definitely it create problem. So that is why, my dear friends, suppose if you will read my article, so generally I always write down the result and discussion. I always explain in subsection. In subsection. Why subsection? I will share with you one example so you can understand. So generally, if you want to write down the good result and discussion, so you all are requested to kindly explain the result and discussion in the subsection. Okay, like suppose if the result and discussion is explained in number 4, so 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, that you can add in subsection. And in result and discussion section, it must be graphical forms, because already I have told you that in materials and methods, whatever methods that you have used, from that method, whatever graphs you have obtained, so all the graphs are explained here. Okay, so graphical forms must be included in the result and discussion section, and after graphical form you have to write down the discussion. And here the third point is very important, and as a researcher you must aware and you must understand that whenever you will write down any graph or any figure, like a figure number 1, okay, you will put a figure and figure number 1, so you are requested to add discussion just below of the figure, just below of the figure. That's why I have added here that physics means below the each figure the discussion must be written. And generally if it is engineering background, so you can write down the physics or chemistry behind it. In management there is no need to physics and chemistry, but it is good that suppose if you will discuss something, so if you will take some references or some reference from other literature work, so you can cite it here, some other researchers work here, so it is good. If you have that, then it is good. And here fourth one I have added here, if similar researchers have done and received similar results, so you can cite it here. Okay, cite the such articles here, so that thing you can add it in result and discussion section. Now I will share with you one of my research article so you can understand very clearly. Now I think my paper is visible to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, friend, this article is regarding with the mechanical background, means is elsewhere. So here I want to share with you regarding with the result and discussion. So you can add it. You can see here result and discussion section number 4. You can see. So whenever you will write down the result and discussion, so at that time you are requested to add a brief paragraph about results. And then here you can see 4.1, that's a subsection. Then 4.2, another subsection. 4.3, another subsection. Okay, and you can see here 4 point means every time you can see here 4.4 means here the section number 4, that's a result and discussion. So I have divided result and discussion in 4 subsection. So from each subsection I will conclude something. So here you can see that fifth number is for conclusion. So I have added 4 different sections. So here you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 means 4 or 5 points that you have to obtain in the conclusion section. So the result and discussion and conclusion both are important. So whenever you will write down the article, and if you will write result and discussion section, so you are requested to use subsection. So if you will write down a subsection, so definitely the people will understand very clearly, and they will understand that your work is really good, and they will also cite your research, means your articles also. Okay, so friend, I think you understood very clearly, okay, how to write the result and discussion. So generally result and discussion you have to add in the subsection. Okay, and whenever you will add any graphical forms, so you have to describe the graphical forms below. That's for discussion. Okay, and now last means after result and discussion, next point, that's called the conclusion. Next point is called conclusion. So friend, what is the difference between the abstract and conclusion? So actually, if you will ask the same question to the person who is doing research, so sometimes such person don't understand that difference between the conclusion and abstract. So dear friend, the abstract, that's a summary, that's called, that includes the current state of art. Okay, then objectives, materials and methods, conclusion, object, means everything is included in the abstract section. But in conclusion, whatever we can say, that points that you have obtained from the result and discussion, that point is only added in conclusion section. Means the points which you have obtained from the result and discussion section, that only add in conclusion section. So this is the brief discussion of a brief difference between the abstract as well as the conclusion. That is why, my dear friend, generally if you will write down the conclusion, so you are requested to add a brief discussion about the paper. Okay, so it will be good. And generally what the people are doing, that researchers are copy and paste of the abstract in conclusion first paragraph. So you are requested not to copy and paste the abstract, but you are requested to add it properly and briefly, so the researchers can understand about the conclusion. Means after first paragraph is over, now whatever points that you have obtained from the subsection or 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.1, whatever discussion that you have added, so from that discussion, which point you have concluded, that you have to edit conclusion number 1 in bullet points. Okay, because sometimes what the readers are doing or what the reviewers are doing, the reviewers see that suppose if there are 4 subsections, so there must be 4 to 5 points in conclusion. That means from every subsection one conclusion must be obtained. So this point is also important, and generally I am requesting to everybody not to add conclusion in terms of paragraph, not to add conclusion in terms of paragraph, but you are requested to add the conclusion in terms of bullet points. So why bullet points? Because the reviewers can understand very clearly that if there are 4 different subsections, okay, so there must be 4 concluding remarks or concluding points. Okay, so they can understand very clearly that the researchers understand, and definitely your article will be accepted or will be received the comments. Okay, so in conclusion, you are requested to add the first paragraph, that is that brief about the research work, and then you are requested to add the conclusion with the help of concluding, means with the help of bullet points. Suppose there are 4 subsections, so you are requested to add minimum 4 concluding remarks or concluding points. And here last I have already written that you are requested to, you should write a conclusion in terms of bullet points, in terms of bullet points. So dear friend, I have starting from the cover letter. After cover letter, that highlights, after highlights, then we have discussed about the title to the abstract to the keywords to the introduction to the materials and method. After materials to the method, result and discussion. After result and discussion, conclusion. Okay, so these are the different points or different components which you should understand whenever you will write down the research article. And after conclusion, you have to add the references. Okay, references you know very well. Okay, now in references there are various styles are there, like APA, MLA, Chicago, Harvard style, IEEE, Vancouver, AMA, Caribbean, Blue Book, AGLC, ASA, APSA, CSC, Oscola. These are the different styles are there for references. And dear friend, you can also prepare references by your own by simple typing, or there are some softwares are there to write down the reference. Like Austin software is there, that is a good software for the reference making. Now, dear friend, suppose if you want to submit the paper, okay, so generally what should be the selected parameters for the journal? Okay, so generally there are many selected parameters, but for this lecture I have taken only 5 parameters. First parameter, there is the area of publication that you must aware. Suppose if your article is based on the digital communication or digital management, so at that time you must understand your area of publication, and then you can search a journal in which your area is matched. Otherwise, what will happen if you will submit the article to XYZ journal? So your article will be rejected by simple way that your article is not falls within the scope of the journal. Okay, that is why area of publication is very important. Second point called indexing status. Okay, now for indexing I will share with you about the Scopus and WS afterwards. But why the indexing status is very important? Because at present there are many journals are there. Okay, so if you will open the journal website, okay, so journal are from Chinese background, or from the Chinese country, or from other country. Okay, and they added that our journals is indexing in Scopus, in WOS. Okay, but you must aware that that particular journal is indexing in the particular criteria or not. Like a Scopus is there, WOS is there, so you must aware. And generally at present you are requested to submit article based on the journal available on UGC care or UGC care list. Okay, in UGC care list there are 2 types of journal, part A and part B. Okay, so if you will understand the indexing status, so definitely you can submit the article in particular journal. Otherwise, if you will publish the article, so that article has no value. Okay, third one called impact factor. Okay, so third important selected criteria, that's a impact factor. Why impact factor? Because at present, if you want to say that my article is good, so article is good, so it is always based on the impact factor. Okay, so for impact factor generally it is starting from 0.1 to 50. Okay, in our engineering journal we have impact factor is ranging from 0.1 to 50. In science 20, 25, 30. I don't know for the management, around 5 to 6 is there, but the impact factor is should be there. Okay, then fourth one called regularity. Okay, means sometimes if you will submit the article and the article has a regular issue at quarterly, means every 3 months. Okay, half yearly means 6 months once. Okay, so you must aware the regularity also. Otherwise, what will happen? Suppose if you are submitting the article in XYZ journal, you have accepted the article, but the article is published yearly. That means if your article is accepted in 2023 and your article will be published 2024, so there is no meaning. So that is why you are requested to select a journal based on the regularity. And generally, I prefer to submit the article in bi-monthly journal. Okay, bi-monthly journal. So what will happen? Suppose if your article is accepted today, that means October. So definitely December or November, my article will be published in the with volume and issue number. That is why regularity is also very important. And last, the area of the coverage. Now, suppose friend, if you are a beginners, okay, for beginners, I have added some list of journals. Okay, so if you are beginners, so these all the journals are Scopus as well as the indexing in WOS for Social Science Citation Index SSCL. Okay, so it is good for you. And this journal have very, we can say, they require very less time for the review, and you will get a quick review also. First journal for the beginners, that's a Sigma Journal of Engineering Natural Sciences. I think natural sciences you can add. Okay, and in this journal I am also in the editorial board member. Second journal, there's a multidisciplinary journal of educational research. Okay, this journal is free of cost, and here you can see this journal is listed in Scopus as well as the ESCI called Emerging Source Citation Index. Okay, so this journal is a free of cost, and it is also bi-monthly journal. Third journal, that's the International and Multidisciplinary Journal of Social Sciences. Third journal, that's the International Journal of Simulation and Multidisciplinary Design Optimization. Now at present the optimization means we are also working in engineering, and the management and the commerce also, they are working on the optimization. That's why I have added this journal called the International Journal of Simulation and Multidisciplinary Design Optimization. This is free of cost journal, but this journal is published monthly, means every month this journal is publishing. And here you can see the special issue is also there, and sometimes if you require a quick review, okay, so you are requested to search a journal based on the special issues, because in special issues the revision as well as we can say that the decision is very fast. Okay, then this is also a good journal for Science and Technology Studies journal. Okay, this is free of cost journal. Then Engineering and Applied Science Research Journal. This is also a Scopus indexing journal and a bi-monthly journal. And according to my perception, very good journal called the Sadhana. This journal is a multidisciplinary journal. Okay, in engineering as well as the alternative technologies, you can use this journal. This journal is published by the Indian Academy of Sciences, and here you can see it is an impact factor also and free of cost. And here the submission to acceptance, it takes a time, but it is a standard journal. So if you have a good article, you are requested to submit your article in this Sadhana journal. And then this is also a good journal. Yesterday I have submitted one article in this journal called the Theory and Decision Journal. This journal is published by the Springer journal, and this journal has indexing in Scopus as well as the WS called Social Science Citation Index. It has an impact factor of 0.8. It's okay. 0.8 impact factor is good, but generally your journal must be indexing in Scopus journal. Okay. Now, friend, next point, that is what are the different points behind the initial rejection of the journal. Actually, I don't know whether you have faced this problem or not, because I have faced this problem many times during my journey before 2015. Okay, because actually I don't know much in detail regarding with the journal criteria. So I have faced this problem many times. That's why I have added this point, that what are the different points behind the initial rejection. So actually there are many points, but first point, that's the out of the scope. Already I have told you. Suppose if you're submitting article in engineering background journal and your work is in management, so management and engineering both are not matched properly. That's why if you will add the article in the engineering background journal, though you are a person of the management background, so definitely your article will be rejected by simple way called out of scope journal. Okay, so already I have told you that you are requested to search a journal which is for within a scope of your research work. Second one, not in the format of journal, because generally there are some journals like Taylor and Francis as well as Springer, they are very stringent about their formats. Okay, suppose if you will submit the article in Springer journal without format, so definitely they will not take your article for under review, and they will reject the article like a simple sentence that your article is not in a format of the journal. That is why it is rejected. Okay, so whenever you will submit the article, so at that time you must aware that whether the journal requires the particular format or not. And as per my knowledge, if I want to suggest that you are requested to submit the article in elsewhere journal, because elsewhere journal has no format. Okay, and that is why if you will see my name in elsewhere, so I have published more than 100 plus articles in elsewhere, and generally I publish this elsewhere because the elsewhere journal has no format. Okay, because generally what happen, if you submit the article, so you first see the format of the journal, and you have to prepare your paper according to the format. Okay, so you must search a journal which have no format. Okay, third one, grammar is not written well, because this is also important point, because our Indian papers, suppose Indian papers is reviewed by the foreign authors or foreign reviewers, they always write down one simple comment that the article is rejected because grammar is not written well. Okay, grammatical errors are there. Okay, so this is a sentence through which they can reject the article. But generally, whenever you will write down the cover letter, so at that time you can also add one sentence that the article is put, or article is submitted in Grammarly software, and the grammar is thoroughly checked. Okay, so if you will add such kind of words, so I think you will not find out the grammar kind of uh, words. Okay, so you are requested to add a proper grammar, otherwise definitely your articles will be rejected. Fourth one, that is important call, literature review is not sufficient, because at present even I am also adding the same words to many of the authors, that your review is not sufficient. That means what happens, suppose if you are writing a research article, so you have added only 10 articles in literature review, only 10 articles, means from 10 articles how can you get the problem definition, how can you get the objective, how can you get the outcomes of literature review. Okay, so if your references does not contain sufficient amount of papers, that is why your literature review is not sufficient. Okay, so from insufficient literature review, there is no chance of accepting your paper, and that is why the paper is initially rejected. So that is why already I have told you that in literature review you must add at least 35 to 40 research papers. Okay, so that is why if you will add such kind of papers, so this comment will not see that literature review is not sufficient. Okay, next, there is abstract is not written well. Already I have told you, because if you will see the abstract of the paper, you can easily understand about the research work done by the particular researchers. Okay, so that is why the abstract must be prepared well, and already I have told you the abstract must contain some points, like first one, that is the abstract that must contain certain points. First is called review. Okay, then after current state of art, literature review, and then problem definition, then result and discussion, materials, methods, etc., etc. So if you will add the abstract in this format, definitely your abstract will be good, and you will not find out the comment called abstract is not written well. Then conclusion is very short. Okay, this is also very important comment, and you, if you submitted the article, so you will get such kind of comments, conclusion, because conclusion is, we can say that it is important point, because from the literature review to the result and discussion. So from result and discussion, whatever point that you have concluded, you have added in the conclusion. And sometimes if you will see the uh, research papers, so they add very small conclusion. So whenever you will add the very small conclusion, so the chances of your acceptance of paper will be less. That is why your conclusion must be prepared well. It must not be short. And last but not least, that you must understand that latest papers should be there. Otherwise, your paper will be rejected by saying that latest papers are not found in the paper. And generally, what I'm suggesting to my uh, students who are doing PhD under my guidance, that your article must be starting from uh, 1990 or 2001 and must be ended with the 2023 means current year. So the reviewer understand very clearly that thoroughly review has been performed by the author. Okay, so if the latest papers are not found in the paper, so it may be possible that your journal will reject your article. Now friends, now next point, that how to search journal, that is indexing in Scopus or WOS. Okay, so dear friend, so let me share with you. So first of all, I will share with you something. I think my slide is I think Google is visible to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now in Scopus, if you want to search your article is indexing in Scopus or not, you are required to add the Scopus indexed journal list. If you will add this, you will see indexed journals. And now here you can see in title you can submit by title, publisher or ISSN number. Suppose I am added a title. Suppose I am added the Journal of International Journal of Ambient Energy. Okay, so if you will write down, so here you will find out the journal name. So if you will click it here, and then here you must see the site score. So there must be a site score visible. Okay, and now if you will add on the Journal of Ambient Energy, so here you can find out the source details, and here that must be seen. You can see here Scopus coverage years from 1980 to present. This present word must be there. Present word means 2023. Means if you will submit article in ambient energy today, so it is okay. 2023, if your article will be accepted in this journal, so definitely what will happen, your article will be in Scopus. There are also some journals which are submitted, which are in Scopus, but now at present that are not indexed in Scopus journal also. So it is depend on you that whether the journal is there or not. Like journal is there, defense technology. Okay, so this is also okay. So here you can see, that coverage years 1998, then 2001 to present. Means if you will add the article in this journal, so it is okay. This journal is indexing in Scopus. Okay, and the Scopus journals are okay. Suppose if you will publish article in Scopus, so definitely uh, your article will be also indexing in UGC CAL list also. So don't worry about it. But I think in this lecture you must aware how to search your journal is indexing in Scopus or not. Okay. Now, next one called WOS, called Web of Science. How you know that your journal is indexing in Web of Science or not? So for Web of Science checking, you must write down that Clarivate Master Journal List. Clarivate Master Journal List. So if you will add it here, Clarivate Master Journal List. Okay, so this kind of window will be open, and suppose here I am adding one journal called International Journal of Ambient Energy. So this journal is indexing in Scopus, but this journal is not indexing in WOS. You can see here first title is International Energy Journal, not ambient energy. That means ambient energy journal is indexed in Scopus, but not indexed in WOS. That means impact factor is not given to the ambient energy journal. So dear friend, you must aware very well that before submission your article, you are requested to search a proper journal, and after searching proper journal, you have to search that whether journal is indexed in Scopus list or not. Okay, suppose if you require impact factor, so you have to search your journal in Clarivate Master Journal List, and if journal is indexing in Clarivate Master Journal List, so definitely that journal has an impact factor. Okay, but generally if you have a Scopus indexing, so it is okay, you did not to vary. But if you have Scopus indexing and WOS both indexing, so it is good. And there are also some countries like the USA and USSR, they generally prefer journals which having Scopus and WOS both indexing and having Q1 listing. Q1 means top 25% journal. Okay, so now I think friend you have understood very clearly how to search a journal which is indexing in Scopus as well as we can say that WOS called Web of Science. Now next point, if you want, suppose if you have abstract, from abstract if you want to find out the journal, okay, means from this abstract which journal is preferable to submit. So in Elsewhere Journal, there is one website that is called Elsewhere Journal Finder. So if you will search on Google Elsewhere Journal Finder, and if you will click here, so definitely you will find out this kind of window. Here you can search by two ways. First by the match my abstract, and search by keywords, aims and scope. But generally I am suggesting you to add abstract. So let me copy and paste the abstract. Suppose I will copy and paste here, and then if I will click on the find the journal, so friend you will find out the journals one by one. And here you can see that this particular journal is matched with the journal as well as the matching with text match score, means out of 5. So here the first means based on my abstract, this journal is matching 3 out of 5. You can see here it is impact factor 12.0, then journal of printer production impact factor 11.1. Okay, 2 points are matching, means from the abstract only you can find out the number of journals. Okay, same way, suppose if you want to search on Taylor and Francis, so Taylor and Francis also the same kind of area called Taylor and Francis Journal Finder. This is called Taylor and Francis Journal Suggester. Okay, here same thing, you have to copy and paste your abstract, and if you will add reveal the suggested journal, so you will find out the different journals. You can see here production planning and control, Then journal of business to business market means everything you will find out here. Means suppose if you have a abstract ready, so you are requested to search a journal, and generally I prefer the elsewhere because elsewhere journal has no format. Okay, and this Taylor and Francis Springer has their own format. Okay, so suppose if you want to submit an article in Africa Journal of Management, so you can search here, and also you can find out matrices also. So here from matrices you can see the journal has an impact factor 1.3 and side score 2.0 means this is a good journal. And generally if it's a good impact factor, so it is good. And suppose if you will get acceptance in such kind of journal, so you can also increase your reputation. Okay, so dear friend, through this you can find out the particular journal that based on the journal suggester and journal finder. So friend, this is all from my end.